Hey folks, Jeff from Corrugated Cavalier here, coming to you with a product review. Haven't done one of these in quite a while. This is the Castille Cinquedea. So if you know me from social media or any of the Discord channels that I'm on, including my own, get in touch with me if you want to be a part of that. You know that I am a bit of a Cinquedea fanatic. I just think that they're fun and a little bit crazy, plus I like getting up close and personal when I'm fighting, so they kind of fit me perfectly. Basically, Cinquedea is a late 15th and into the 16th century, mostly in the area of Venice, sword, dagger. What is it? Who knows? I'll put up a picture, a couple pictures of it being used as a sidearm. A lot of these are really fancy in museums, but there are more practical weapon-looking things, kind of like this one. So, on to the details. This is from Castille Armory. It is about this long. You can check out the specs on the website. It is about this heavy. Once again, you can check out the specs on the website. Obviously, it is quite short, but that's part of its charm, in my opinion. I have been using this in drilling as well as a few bouts of sparring. And I've been using it against messers, and some pretty beefy messers at that, and it is holding up just fine. You can see that there is a little bit of edge damage. They're not burrs, it's just kind of deformation in the fort of the blade here, where I have caught some harder strikes, but I mostly try to use deflectional parries as much as I can anyhow. Do I like it? Overall, absolutely love it. It's a lot of fun. Let's get into some specific pros and cons. So pros, well, it's a Cinquedea, and it is a sparring safe Cinquedea, and I will get into some details about that later. And I've really wanted a sparring safe Cinquedea for a long time. Castille delivered. I love playing with this thing. It's a lot of fun. That's the number one pro. The second big pro is that it is incredibly flexible for the length. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this, and you can see it's bending to basically 90 degrees. Okay, maybe a little bit more actually. So this has been totally safe on thrusts and stuff like that, with one caveat that I'll get to in a little bit. The third pro is that it is very light and maneuverable, and so it is not taxing on your limbs whatsoever. I can a lot of fun even on Appel, even more fun against opponents. There are a couple of cons that I will get into. So we'll start with the on the thrust and the safety thing. So I did have to build up this tip with gaff tape because the edges are relatively thin, which has been fine so far. It doesn't deliver a whole lot of force in the cut, so the thinner edges have been fine. But the point is a bit of a problem. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, now that we have that taken care of, you can see that the tip is the same thickness as the edge. It does not spatulate or roll or anything like that. So you do need to do something to take care of this tip, in my opinion. So doing this kind of does hurt. If you're putting a good amount of force into a thrust, that is not going to be kind to your training partner. And I don't know for sure, but I think it may have the potential to go through like non-rated materials possibly. So definitely do something with the tip. I just built up a few layers of gaff tape and then did a couple of wraps around it just to make sure it stays secure. Fix. The second con is that this grip does not come black like this. It comes the same metallic, the same steel as the crossguard. I just got some painter's tape, masked off the crossguard, and masked off these rivets, which you wouldn't even have to do, but I just wanted to keep those brass rivets coming through just for appearances, really, and that has made a big difference in the appearance. The third con is really just the cost, in my opinion. It's not crazy, but it is $250, and it is relatively small, and it's a pretty basic construction other than the crossguard or collons, however you might want to call that. So I would love to see the price point a little bit lower, but at the same time, it's not anything crazy. Would I recommend it? Absolutely I would, especially if you're a Cinquedea fanatic like I am, or are just into that period of history, or even some Bolognese sources. It's not explicitly in Bolognese sources, but I think you can definitely go with some of the Bolognese large dagger stuff, or even some of the side sword material. I use some of that as well when I'm sparring with it. It's a lot of fun to play with, so if this seems like something that would be fun to you, in my opinion, it is totally worth it. If you would all like to see something more about the history of the Cinquedea and see some more examples, I'd love to do a video on that too, so drop that in the comments below. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. You can find me here or on Twitter. I am on TikTok as well. I don't hop in there super often, but if you message me, I'll respond there as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, I do recommend it. If this is something that sounds like fun to you, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Please click like, share, subscribe, all that stuff that people tell you to do. Be good to each other, and ciao.